Good morning. I'm Jeff Heiser, and this is I Think Differently. This morning, we are going to be talking about goals and why it's important to write them down. Good morning. This is Jeff Heiser, and I am so glad you tuned in to hear I Think Differently. It's a place where people think differently, including myself. I've been accused of being a person that seems to think differently about a lot of things. I hope your day is going great. I hope you had a wonderful last week and good weekend. Everything is going great here. The weather has been phenomenal. I just put in a new, I guess you would call it a sunscreen on my back porch, and new flowers, and just everything is going so great. I hope the same is going for you. Little update on the van. There is no update on the van, so we'll move right along. Still haven't gotten anybody that has let me know what the Blue Line Vagabond name means, so maybe I need to change the name. Maybe you have a name you want to suggest. Just drop me a note at www.jeffreyheiser.com. That's www.jeffreyheiser.com. And maybe we'll get you on the radio. Also out there on my website at I Think Differently at www.jeffreyheiser.com. You can get now you can get the free ebook of James Allen, As a Man Thinketh. Now, if you haven't read this book, you need to take some time and read this. This is a really well-kept secret. I'm telling you, if I would have known this stuff in high school or in grade school, I think things might have been a little different in my life. And not that I want anything to be any different in my life. I just think there might have been more successes. Might have been just different, because this book by James Allen, As a Man Thinketh, explains how you can make things happen with your mind by thinking through things. Do yourself a favor, go out there, download it, and it's a quick read, and I think you're going to find that the information is very valuable to you, especially going forward. Now, today, we're going to talk about goals and why it's important to write goals down. Now, I don't know if you write your goals down. It's up to you what you do. I would suggest that you might want to listen to this podcast, because it's actually pretty important to take some time to write your goals down. Just take a moment right now to think about yourself. Just think about yourself right now. Just a moment. Think about your goals and where you're heading in your life. Now, let me ask you, do you know where you're heading in your life? See, so many people don't. It's unbelievable. When it's the classic Amway opener. Where do you see yourself in 5 years from now? They ruin that saying by using that so many different times on so many different people, and then hitting you with this sales pitch. But honestly, think about that. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do you see yourself in 10 years? Where do you see yourself in 20 years? I was just talking with my wife about how fast time has flown by us. We've been married going on 41 years. Maybe 42, I don't know. We were married in 1977. And how fast everything has passed by. And, you get caught up in all of the child raising and your careers and your children's sports and schools and all this. And it just passes you by. And then if you don't have some goal as to where you want to be in 40 years, you're going to be lost. You're going to be lost when your kids leave the house. It's hard. We became empty nesters about almost 10 years ago now, and it was difficult. Especially, I think it was as hard for my wife as it was for me. But I was very involved in my youngest son's sports and in coaching. And when he left, I was no longer a coach after 30-something years of coaching youth sports and junior high school sports, at different levels. I became a spectator. It's hard if you don't have things written down. If you don't know where you're headed, you're headed for trouble. See, many of us that are listening to this today also are self-employed business owners. I'm a self-employed business owner. I know just as myself, many of you have read the self-help books and have listened to the motivational DVDs and attended the seminars and got all hyped up at these seminars or workshops or events, and you're screaming success and we will rock you and all that stuff, and then you get the book and you read it, and you read the book on how to think and grow rich, and then you get home and it's like, bleh. Where am I headed with this? It's because we didn't write down our goals. See, I also know that only a small percentage of us have honestly considered what our goals are, and we haven't taken any time to write them down, let alone even think about them. Come on, you're probably one of them. If you're not, great, then share it with the people around you why it's important to write your goals down. As a motivational speaker and life coach, I've seen this often when working with individuals. I've seen it with athletes. I've seen it with CEOs. I've seen it with all of the C-level type people, except for the very few that are extremely successful can whip out that whatever it is written on and say, these are my goals. This is where I'm heading. They might have a journal. They might have paper. I personally have a journal. I just counted last night. I think I've got 23 books since 1993. I think I've been keeping them. And the ones that I kept from when I was in the Navy forward to 1988, I don't know what happened to them. I can't find them. I think they got lost in shipping when we moved. But the point is, in those journals, I wrote down a lot of my goals, and I saw through those goals as I progressed throughout the year in that specific journal book or whatever that I had. Many times at events that I've spoke at, or I've been a motivational speaker at different events and different youth events and coaching events and what have you, seminars, workshops. But regardless, individuals will come up to me and they'll say, I hear what you're saying. I totally get it. And I have my goals written down. But what you're saying, it just doesn't work for me. The very first thing I'll ask them, every single time I ask them, can you share your goals with me? Most times they reply with something like, oh yeah, sure. I want to retire comfortably. I want to have a successful business year. Or I want to be happy. Sometimes I have to actually laugh, and I hate doing that because I'm laughing at what this person's saying, but it's actually sometimes very comical. I almost never hear, I want to retire in 2020 with an after-tax income of $65,000. I want to increase my sales volume by 50% during the second half of the year. Our goal is to win every game this year and get into the state finals, and we want to win by more than a touchdown or more than 10 points in each game. Do you get the idea? The first ones, I want to be happy. I almost, I want to retire comfortably. I want to have a successful business year. Even though their goals are written down, they're not very specific. How do you know what to shoot for? Oh, I want to be happy. Well, what's going to make you happy? Oh, I want to have a successful business year. What constitutes a successful business year in order that you can count it as a success? Goals that are not specific amount to being no more than wishful thinking. That's it. That's all you're doing is I'm hoping or I'm wishing for whatever. I used to work with a guy, and he's famous in our business for saying, "Don't live in Hopa-Hopaville. I hope I have a successful business year. I hope I meet clients that we can sell our product to. Don't live there. I want to meet 10 clients this week in order to sell our product, and of those 10 clients, I want to sell 5 of them." It's more specific. The truth is, most of us don't write down our goals. We don't write it down. We don't write anything down. In fact, in this day and age of technology, it gets to a point where, well, I don't write anything down. Well, then type it in on your phone. Type it in on your iPad. Put it in on your computer, on your laptop. There's all kinds of programs that allow you to take notes and make, documents and all kinds of things. Just write it down. Whether you write it physically with a piece of paper and a pencil or a pen, or you type it in. Write your goals down. Be honest though. I'm being honest with you. They are really hard to define, let alone taking time to write them down. And that seems to be what the problem is. People seem to define them as being too hard to define. They define that evolution or event of taking the time to identify their goals as being too hard to define. What I do every year at the beginning of the year, and it's like January 1st in the afternoon, I will sit down and I will write 12, 13, 14, 15 things down as to what I want to accomplish that year. And I'm specific about it. 2017, I wrote down, I want to climb the highest mountain that I can climb in the lower 48 of the United States. Well, I wound up climbing Mount Elbert, which is the second highest, 14,439 feet or something like that. I couldn't get to California. My son, he wanted to climb with me. He couldn't get to California, so we did the second best. But at least I had a goal of what I wanted to do, because I could have climbed any mountain if I said, I want to climb a mountain. Well, do you want to climb a small mountain? Do you want to climb a big mountain? Do you want to climb a flat mountain at the top? What kind of mountain do you want to climb? Write it down. See, if it was easy, we'd all be doing it. We'd all be doing it if it was easy. It's what separates the people that are extremely successful from the rest of us. They identify their goals, they write them down, and they go after them. See, we all want to make lots of money. We all want to retire. We all want to live a happy life ever after. But what does that really mean to you?